I think it's one thing was it goes on as we go into time. And I think as developers learn, because you see a lot of the commercials advertising showing. I remember the Metroid Prime 3, the first video they showed of the Wii, where they had the guy jumping behind the couch.
Right.
And that was kind of a big joke with us. You're not going to be jumping behind your couch to take cover and that sort of thing. I think as time goes on, people will realize that a little bit more too. Do you think Nintendo did a good job reacting to the problem? They did the recall in December. Some people criticized, was that enough of a step to take towards the problem? Should there be more in the game? Should there be more here or there? Do you think Nintendo did a good job of letting the public know about the problem?
Well, I mean, I think they did what they could. I think they were quick to respond at least, and what seemed like kind of a silly problem at first became, widely enough reported that they considered it a significant problem. So they, and to be honest, I think they could have taken the stance that. There are disclaimers and instructions are very clearly stated, and most injuries are caused by not using the game the right way or not heeding the disclaimer that's given at the beginning of a disc when you load it. So, they could have just said, well, that's danger of having an interactive game, which you may get hurt. And so, yeah, I think they have been responsive, and I think the recall, I don't know that they necessarily needed to do that, but I thought it was a good move on their part to at least offer that option to people if they wanted to, or investigate and see if there's a better technology or sort of implementation of the wrist strap, if we can find a better way to keep the controllers on people's hands.
One way that we saw on the internet is a joke. I can't remember where website it was. They were doing a Photoshop contest, the best ways to keep the Wii remote on your hand or something. One guy had a Photoshop of a handcuff, half handcuff onto the thing. And it's almost, but I know personally, when we got the recall, the stuff on the internet, I did order them from Nintendo and it came in 2 weeks or whatever. And I ordered 3 of them. I have 2 remotes. I figured 1 extra. Right. And I think they sent me 9 or 10. So, I mean, they're definitely here's for every one you might possibly get within a while. Hand them out to your friends, I think. It's something like that. So, I think they're very responsive, and at first I was worried, will it hurt sales? Because we were talking before, is this a sales problem? You see this is something that the news, mainstream media will come out and say, kids are getting injured, and that always hurts, the PR and the sales kind of thing. And so far it's been so good. I think, jumping on there early and getting to the problem early, I think was a good step for Nintendo. And I think really they handled it about as well as they could have.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that there's that saying, there's no such thing as bad press. So I don't think that there are any sort of, Congress people damning the Wii as a device that's polluting our children the way that they have with first-person shooter games and that sort of thing. So I think it was just a question of, well, are people basically intelligent enough to use the Wii without killing themselves, And so I don't know. I mean, I think they've I think they responded well. I think the positive hype sort of overshadowed the negative in the sense of the holiday season, that they were very smart and sort of doing this big push to release it in around Christmas time, and they and it just all the press was saying that this is just killing PlayStation 3 at Christmas time. A lot more people are buying it, and I think that press a little bit overshadowed the potential bad press, quote unquote, they were getting for their injuries. And so that's basically it. I mean, I think they've handled it well, and it's like I said, it's just something that's inherent to the game.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to get you with one last question before we go. Do you think this is going to be, I guess you're not a psychic or anything, so it's more speculation, but in the future here, looking, next Christmas season, the Christmas season after, do you think this will be a consistent problem for Nintendo? I mean, do you think this is something that they've addressed and hopefully this will die down soon? Or do you think here in the future it's going to be, something's going to happen and this is going to keep persisting? There might be one bad injury and it's going to give it, I mean, is this over, or do you see this being a problem in the future too?
I don't think it's necessarily over. I think it's going to sort of go away in the press unless there's one enormous case. If someone dies because of a Wii controller, then it'll be put in the forefront. But it's just one of those stories that's sort of funny and kind of weird, and the press, it's a little bit lighter news for the press to be running, and nobody's, so far as I know, has been seriously injured. So it was kind of one of those kind of wacky stories that they run around the holiday or shortly after. It's kind of a softer news cell. So I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot. I mean, obviously the social networking stuff is still going to persist. You know, like I think people are going to keep posting photos. People are going to, you know, basically have commentary, both good and bad, about the Wii. But I think for Nintendo, I don't think this is going to be a huge problem for them going forward. You know, unless, like I said, there's some major injury, which I don't really foresee happening. You know.
All right. Well, Eric, thank you for bringing us out here.
Sure.
The tour was wonderful. The interview was great. It was a great time for us, and we're glad you had us. So for the WeChat.com show, I'm Cameron. See you guys later.